Welcome to episode 16. We are returning with the Eternal Idols with great news. Ronnie James Dio's back in Black Sabbath, man, with Vinny Appice. This is the 16th studio album. Let's get into it. This is Dehumanizer.
I feel Dehumanizer was terrible, dreadful album, really misguided, didn't have much of the elements that made Heaven and Hell, and to a slightly lesser extent Mob Rules, so popular and so successful and so good. It seemed a bit of a mishmash. It seemed that they didn't quite know how to work together anymore. It was produced by a guy called Mac in Germany, much more known for more of an electronic approach, and I don't think it worked whatsoever. I think it's a very poor album and really doesn't stack up in terms of respect for what they have done before.
Shut the fuck up, you bloody British bastard. Dehumanizer rules, man. It's the return of this lineup, man, the Mob Rules lineup, and it's a smoking fucking album, man. I love this fucking album. How this all happened was Geezer Butler went and saw Ronnie James Dio, told him, hey, I'm gonna come to one of your gigs. And Ronnie said, oh yeah, you are? Well, you better bring your bass. Well, Geezer lost his bass, but he ended up playing anyway, and he played Neon Nights with the Dio band on the Lock Up the Wolves tour. And then afterwards, they had a couple beers, and Geezer was like, come on, man, let's get back together with Tony. I've been talking to Tony. Let's make another fucking killer album. Mob Rules lineup. Come on, come back. And he said, fuck yeah, I'll come back. So he came back, and they made this, but there was a lot of problems making this album. It was so bad at one point that he left, and Tony Martin came back and sang the Dehumanizer album, and then they kicked him out again. Poor Tony, man. But anyway, and Ronnie came back. Cozy Powell was supposed to be on this album, but Ronnie wasn't too happy about that. He played with Cozy in the past, and he was saying stuff like, I don't think Cozy, he's an amazing drummer, he's great at what he does, but he's not what I picture this album should be. He's not the Black Sabbath drummer when I'm fronting Black Sabbath. That's how he feels. Tony said no, he's gonna do it because him and Cozy been so close. Ronnie and they went back and forth, and I really don't know how it ended, but I do know that poor Cozy, may he rest in peace, had a accident where he fell off a horse, or the horse fell on him, and then after that he had a car accident. It was just a mess. So he was unable to play anyway. So they got Vinny back in the band, and the Mob Rules lineup happened, man. So here it goes. Track 1, Computer God. Geezer, I believe, wrote the lyrics to this, or some of it, or all of it. I'm not sure. And there were extra lyrics that they left off this song because it was too much. And one of the words in the lyrics was Dehumanizer, and I believe that was going to be the name of the song, but they left that part out, so it doesn't say Dehumanizer in the song. But that's what this is about. That's a computer. What it is, it's a computer comes to life and takes the place of God, and it starts injecting people into like shitty computers, kind of like compact computers of today. If you ever own a compact, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's what it's about, and it's very different. As you can tell, the lyrics, they made a conscious effort not to talk about rainbows and dragons and witching wells and stuff that Ronnie has done in the past, and Ronnie agreed. He wanted to do that too. After all the dead. It's a great, again, it's a cool song. It's a song where Dio's singing about, like, what do you say to the dead? If you had anything to say to the dead, of course, the obvious questions was, is there a heaven? Is there a hell? What happens when you die? What goes on? But the moral of the whole song is, at the end of the song, it's like, you're not gonna know what happens when you die until you die. TV Crimes, the video, the single of the album. If I was the record company guy, I probably would have picked this song as well. Not my favorite song off the album, but it's a damn good song, man. It's one of my favorites. And, you know, grunge came in at the time and people sucked, and that's why this album didn't really sell that much. But, you know, and this video, a lot of people said it was a stupid video. I don't think it's, well, okay, it's stupid, but it's pretty cool. People just thought it was stupid and uncool. I thought it was cool. A guy comes in a store, robs the guy, takes the TV, and he goes through all these adventures with that TV, and Black Sabbath is playing on that TV, and I think that TV's plugged in the whole time. I don't know, I gotta see it again. Well, I'm watching it now. And as you can see, I also have some behind the scene footage shit. Pretty cool shit. Love this song. This song is about televangelists. Now, something unique about this album is that this is like the first Dio album with Sabbath where all songs kind of make sense. You know, all the other ones, you know, as I said before, was Dio paints pictures with words, where this album, he kind of like gets away from the, you know, making up your mind what the song's about, and kind of like, it says it all. This is a televangelist type song. People that fucking rob your money in the name of God. That's what this song's about. TV Crimes. Letters from Earth. Hey, look, I'm back. Well, you know, too much footage, right? Anyway, who would you rather look at? Black Sabbath or me? That's right. You'd rather look at Black Sabbath, man. This is about Black Sabbath. Letters of Earth, again, a song that I originally thought this song was about, I don't know, like they were on the moon and they were getting letters from Earth. But according to the book, Doom Let Loose, it's about letters that they've gotten from their fans, like letters from jail, letters from ordinary people. I did buy the TV Crime single back in the day, and that's what you're hearing now, the alternative version, where it has alternative lyrics to it. It's a great song, man, very doomy. Again, you know, a lot of people don't like it, but that's because a lot of people have superior musical taste than me. I envy you. Speaking of people with superior musical taste than me, I don't know, man. There's something about this song that just doesn't grab me, man. And I know it's like a fan favorite from this album. A lot of people point at this song as one of their favorites. I don't know, man. It does nothing for me. But as you see here, here's footage of them doing it at the show I was at Sunrise Musical Theater. I ended up getting a copy of bootleg, and as you can see, I'm wearing the shirt. It's still holding on, man. My Dehumanizer shirt, this is what they sold at the show, and I still have it, man. So, you know, this is Master of Insanity, and interesting thing about this song is Geezer Butler wrote the lyrics to the song as well, not Ronnie Dio. And Geezer Butler had this song for years, and he had it for his like solo band back in like '85 or in the '80s. And he was shopping it around trying to get a record deal. He couldn't get it, but you know, he was giving the record companies a bunch of songs, and this was one of them. So I guess they probably retooled it, but this was a Geezer Butler original. Time Machine, just like Mob Rules, the song came out before the album Mob Rules. Time Machine came out before Dehumanizer came out. The same thing. It was Mob Rules came out on the heavy metal soundtrack before the album came out. Well, Wayne's World found out Dio got back together with Sabbath, so they asked Sabbath for a song before Dehumanizer came out, and I went out and I bought this because I had to hear what it sounded like to have Dio back in the band, because I was aware they were on here before the album came out. And I gotta tell you, man, you guys have superior taste than me, because again, this song is like, I mean, it's not horrible, but you know, I like Master of Insanity too, but you know, it just doesn't do it for me like the rest of the album, and the same goes for Time Machine. Time Machine is like, it's just okay, you know, so I was just worried, you know, I was like, man, I hope that the rest of Dehumanizer is better than Time Machine, and I was not disappointed. But this is Time Machine, and again, here's footage from the Sunrise Musical Theater where I was at. I wasn't all the way up there, man, I was pretty close. I think I had like 10th or 12th row, and I was really drunk, but I remembered that night, man. It was fucking awesome. Great fucking night, great fucking video I got, great footage, and let's go to the next track, shall we? Sins of the Father. Initially, I thought this song was about like a preacher, you know, sinning, you know, like a Jimmy Swaggart thing. I feel like this is a very underrated track. Not that the whole album is underrated, but I love this song. It's really, it starts off kind of, I don't know, like happy a little bit, and then it goes into like the Sabbath doom, then it goes into fast stuff. There's a lot of changes. Very underrated song. One of my favorites on this album, and I know it's one of the least favorite of everybody else, but that's because everybody else is better than me. I'm not going to get into that because it really fucks with my ego. Anyway, so this is a great song. This song is not about a preacher, it's about actually a father, like a kid that looked up to his father, and it turned out his father made a lot of mistakes, and he kind of like makes a lot of mistakes as he goes through life. And it just goes to show, don't look up to anybody, man. Be yourself. That's how I read that on Doom Let Loose. Yeah, I'm running out of time, man. I got a lot more to talk about this album. So here's the next song.
Soon it's never more when you've got to pay for promises.
Too Late. Beautiful singing from Ronnie James Dio. A great song. I love this song. It's kind of the ballady, the moody song of the album. The song is about selling yourself to the devil. And I really have something important to add to this show, so I gotta cut this song. I just love this song. It's a Fouls type song. Next song. My favorite song off the album, I love I. Just, I love the lyrics. I am a monster. I'm a giant. I'm a virgin. I'm a whore. I just love everything about this song, and Ronnie James Dio even said that's his favorite song off this album, and I agree with the guy, man. It is such a great song, crushing, killer lyrics, very like, hey man, me. I think it has something to do with Satanic Bible too. I could be wrong, like, you know, individual type shit. But again, I have something important to show you before the show's ending, so let's go to the next song. Buried Alive. You're better than me. Alright, that's the end of the show. They do the Wayne's World Time Machine thing, but I just wanted to get into that. At the end of this tour, they were offered to open for Ozzy Osbourne, and Dio refused to do it. He said, fuck that, I ain't gonna, well, you know what, I'm not even going to tell you about it. I'll let the late, great Ronnie James Dio describe it. And warning, this gets brutal.
They wanted to be the opening act for Ozzy's 2 farewell shows, and I didn't. They felt that it was more important to make whatever money there was offered for Ozzy to be the opening act for him. I totally disagree. We had started ourselves, and all the tours we had done since we did Dehumanizer were done with us and opening acts, and that's the way it should have been to me. So I refused to do it. They in turn went out and incorporated Rob Halford's voice to do those last 2 shows. So it was them and somebody else that came in. That showed me how important they must have cared, thought I was as a person. I did not want to be part of the circus that was going to happen that night. And that circus was for them to not only be the act that went on before Ozzy, and then after Ozzy, for them to get together again with Bill Ward and Tony and Geezer and Ozzy, which is what they did. And then they announced that they were going to have a reunion. Well, that would have meant that it wouldn't be any band with me in it anyway, or Vinny, so I guess I did the right thing. So I can talk to you guys. You never talked about it, did you? And you blew the best band there ever could have been on the face of the earth, you stupid assholes.
Damn! Well, as we all know, they became friends again, and, and they went on to do another album. And when I get to that album, I'll get to it, okay? But that's the end of my show. I'll leave you with this. Your mom the other day saw a picture of Black Sabbath, And when she walked away looking at the picture, she left a snail trail